this is what we do around here.
Oh my
Oh,
God! What the hell
hey.
is going on?
Yeah. That's just what we do around here. Oh, welcome, friendos. It's Shoot in the morning. Shoot in the AM. It is not even 11 a.m. as the crow flies here on the East Coast. As the kids say, the Beast Coast. I am as Beast Coast as you can physically get right now. Closer to Ireland than any Irish bastard out there. Here on the edge of the graveyard of the Atlantic. I am the Shootster. We're broadcasting live from, where are we? Milepost 15, I think, is where we're at. It's been a fantastic week. How's everything sounding? I'm remote. It's the first time I've done the show from here, but I've been working with Sroka, tweaking the microphones, tweaking all the stuff. Squid Tits, Miguel Flores. I hope that's not a new nickname for me. You're referring to one of the episodes of the Chad Duke Show this week where we came up with a hot new catchphrase, hashtag Squid Tits. Yes, Jorge, you can either get gifted a membership or you could actually pay for a motherfucking membership. It's $5. Click that link at the top of the page if you're interested in that. You get the entire back catalog. There are hundreds of episodes now that you can access for $5. So check it out. Corey Rita, thank you for being here. Thank you to everybody that has showed up today. This is an unconventional start time for me, so I have no delusions that people are going to be here. But I got to warn you now. If you have any problems with a fat man discussing what he's been eating and drinking over the past 3 days, this ain't the show for you. Come on back some other time. I know you guys love Biker Sean. I know you love Iron Mike. They'll be here eventually. Friday night, we are going to be doing Solid Dudes. I have so much to preview just about that show, but this is as long as I've been away from a microphone in quite some time. And I gotta be honest, I felt a little needy. So I've got a whole bunch to get to today, including some news from back show side. But been down here at the Outer Banks of North Carolina since Sunday evening. This is my last full day. That was the bafflesome noise, sweetheart. Sorry. You gonna be able to make it? Table's here. The other thing's here. It's up there. All right. We're in close quarters this time down at the beach. We're not in some gigantic palace like we normally are with the boys. So I warned her I was doing a show. I take no fucking blame for this whatsoever. Gonna live through my Outer Banks eating quests. There are many. I can start with that. I mean, we can start with food if you want. Let me start with this. We got a big day coming up in just a couple of few. August 2nd out of Commonwealth Hall. It is a Solid Dude summer. I hope to see some of you out there. Not only will we be releasing Moray Neal energy drink, energy that demands a plan. Not only will the tickets go on sale for our Christmas show, the big holiday hootenanny at the Old Shabine. Think those will sell out. Not only will you be able to get your tickets to the holiday hootenanny, but the first 50 people that buy tickets in person are going to be gifted a terrible car tray by one of our wonderful sponsors, Mr. Joe Azer. I've already been contacted by Othman Boucherab. He is desperate for a car tray. These things are a hot commodity. I have no fucking idea why. Fish hats, I can understand why those are flying off the shelf, but a fucking tray for your fucking car that you already have in your fucking car, I don't understand it, but they are a draw. So Azer is donating 50 of these trays. The whole tray? Yes, the whole tray to anybody that can show up and buy the tickets in person so we don't have to worry about it. So that's very cool. And then, of course, the Ring Dang Do. They are in hand Hot Men Shed, the CD exclusive episode of a lifetime. Look, man, I don't claim to plant a lot of flags in this business. My career is what it is. It is. That's all I can say about it. It is. But what I can tell you is we've done a couple of things first. I think we put a podcast on vinyl first. I think we did Snacks of the Round Table first. We did a craft beer before anybody else did on the radio. And having a redneck from Baltimore destroy a shed in the back of his parents' house filled with lantern flies and ravenous rabid rats. I don't know that anyone else has done it, but Jim Jester was nice enough to drive all the way down to Front Royal to pick up these copies of Hot Men Shed, and I gotta say, I think this episode lives up to the hype. Only a single CD, so it's going to be inexpensive. That, of course, is Jasmine the Cockatoo, which I begged Jimmy. As soon as he sent me this picture, I said, look, Jim, that's perfect. Please open up that cage and let that fucking bird go. Let that bird go into the skies over Essex, and everyone will be better for it. Your soul will be liberated. You'll no longer be torturing one of God's creatures. So far, no dice. But, yeah, big news coming up for the program, and I'll be there. Neil of Moray Neil will be there signing his energy drink for the first hour. I don't know how you couldn't want a collector's item like that. So hopefully you are making plans to be out at Hot Men Shed. Let's check in on the fun boys. Yeah, that's kind of the way I thought it was going to go. Oh, boy. Where to begin? New adventures. You know, I've been coming down here a long time, Jack. I've been coming down here my entire adult life since we got back from Phoenix, Arizona on KZON. I've come down here every single year, at least once a year since then. We're up on our 2007, almost our 20th anniversary of that. And then, of course, as a kid, my mom was fat, so she never wanted to go to the beach. So she started dating a guy that owned a beach house in Duck. And when I finally got to go to the beach, I was so excited. Even though I was fat, I wasn't going to let that stop me from enjoying the beach. And I haven't up until this point. I can't recommend the beach enough. It's sad that I need to say that to some people. And if you're fat, look, man, you can go to the beach and hate yourself like the rest of us do. You don't have to subject everybody to your blubber. You know, you get a nice fishing shirt. You have a nice tent. Go right down to the water, get in the water, submerge yourself. You know, you don't have to be on display, preening and jiggling for everybody. I mean, there's ways to go about this. Or you could use it like I never have as a motivation to lose weight, which is also a healthy alternative to being morbidly obese, which I'm hoping to one day embrace. Yeah, so I didn't want to ever let it stop me because it stopped my parents from going. I think my dad was just cheap, I think. So I've been coming down here, and there's new experiences to be had, and I've had some on this trip, and I'm excited to talk with you about them. I do have some business I want to get through first. First and foremost, you know me, I love my sponsors, and I frequent my sponsors, and I enjoy what they have to offer. I've used Joe Azer's services. I have used Mikey Sleep's services. I have definitely used Monk's services, Matthew Burke's services, all the people that have advertised on my show over the years. And I'm a pretty professional guy, but I also like to be honest when I need to be honest. And I'm going to be honest about this burger. Far be it from me to tell our guy, Money Monk, how to run an establishment. He knows better than any of us. And if he says people like Goop, then people like Goop. But I don't know how anyone could look at this picture and not just see roping tendrils. I don't know who this appeals to. And I guess I wanted to bring it to you guys because I think I'm on the wrong side of history here, specifically with burgers. Like, I'm passionate about burgers, especially when they're from Clucksters, but even more so when they're from Monk's Barbecue. And Monk's Brisket Burger is one of the best burgers I've ever had in my life. That being said, who is looking for jism on a burger? You got to help me out here. When did we just decide that blue cheese and ranch needed to go on everything? This is no longer even an attack on my friend Monk or his beautiful business. I am throwing my hands up in the air. I am waving the white flag. I don't understand the fucking rest of you. What is wrong with just enjoying? So let's go through the ingredients real quick. Cheeseburger, bun, beef. Let's throw a bacon on there. I think most cheeseburgers come with bacon. I think that I wouldn't go with a giant fucking 3-inch thick slice of tomato because, my opinion, they're watery disasters. They don't add anything to the flavor. But, you know, you got your lettuce on there. There appears to be a giant red onion. There's some pickles. There's a lot of flavor, right? There's a lot of texture. There's a lot of mouthfeel. There's a lot of good stuff. Um, let's just say that all of that is great. When do we stop? When does it stop? We have enough flavor, right? Like we're dealing with things that are delicious, not only in name only, but in consensus. Everybody loves cheeseburgers. Even vegetarians are desperate to eat cheeseburgers. They have Boca burgers. They have vegan burgers. They have Morning Star burger. I mean, there's constantly people that don't eat red meat. Oh, it's a chicken burger. We're gonna call it a burger, even though it's a chicken sandwich, because people love burgers so much. We are universal in our knowledge and our opinion that burgers are delicious. So when does it end? When do we stop shooting fucking arcing goop all over everything? I don't need to dip my pizza crust in ranch. I don't need to fucking do it. Pizza is decadent. I had some hot wings. I had some beautiful hot wings during this vacation. One of my favorite places on earth to get wings is down here. Let me see if I have a picture of the wings. I do. Thank God. Fat man always takes pictures of his food. Here are my wings from Lucky 12 Tavern. And if you'll notice, they're full wings, flats and drums. Highly recommend that. They're more fun to eat. Now, they kind of skimp on the celery and the carrot sticks. And I oftentimes will order a side of dill pickles as well for a cooling effect. But here's what I can tell you. These wings are perfect. They're sauced to the gills. And guess what I didn't need? Guess what I didn't have to dip them in? And guess why? I enjoy the taste of hot wings. I enjoy the taste of cheeseburgers. I don't need to obfuscate them with a bunch of other, and let's be honest, I mean, ranch and blue cheese are very intense. Like, they're very strongly flavored. And I'm not saying they don't have their purpose and they don't have their place. But it has become ubiquitous now that we must take something that's already fairly unhealthy and then dip it in something that's even more unhealthy. That is the part that I don't understand, and will never understand. It's not like ketchup and mustard. These are somewhat complementary flavors, although people overuse ketchup. I understand that. That burger looks great, but yeah, I disagree with you. I disagree. I think there's something in people's brains where they look at this. I think you're off if you think that roping jism looks appetizing. And that's what I don't understand, is that I'm wrong about that, because clearly people love it. Clearly people are moved by this. I just don't know where the worm turned. I don't know where condiments became something that wasn't there just to accentuate the flavor, but was there to dominate. Everything smeared with aioli. Every fast food burger comes with mayonnaise. I don't know when that happened. It certainly wasn't something that was around when I was younger in age. So I like to attack my sponsors. I think you guys know that. Holy shit. I didn't think anybody was going to. All right, here we go. We got 20 gifted Chad Dukes show memberships from my guy and your guy, Largemouth Ass. I do have some intel from Largemouth Ass's Independence Day party, which I'm going to share with you, and I hope he doesn't take these 20 gifted memberships back. I tell you what, man, I am so filled with pride when it comes to these 20 gifted memberships. I really do appreciate it. It makes me feel sexy. It makes me feel like I want to stare at you with my dreamboat eyes. And on top of that, it makes me want to fucking get Largemouth Ass's entire face tattooed on my big stupid chest. That's the level at which I'm completely transfixed, locked in on these 20 gifted memberships. And the thing that it's almost a burden, though, because now that Largemouth Ass has done this, the poors all like to flock out and brag about how poor they are and how much they've gotten over again because Largemouth Ass has decided to pull out the fucking gats and start strapping these fools. I mean, it's just ridiculous the way this man continues. Yeah, just lay low, babe. Lay low, and you'll be fine. Chick's worried about being on the show. Come on out. I'll figure it out. Come on out. I hate busy food. Yeah, busy food is, again, something that has a place. I absolutely think that busy food can exist in this world. It just doesn't have to be all food. All food now is busy. All food is we have to sprinkle bacon bits on top. Now, the way that it works, though, is like fancy ass fish dishes. For whatever reason, whenever they put together a giant fucking plate full of shit that doesn't sound very good to me, we got coriander and chickpeas in this, and we got a balsamic glaze. I'm like, what the fuck is going? And then you go ahead and try it. It all goes together. It all seems to work. Go ahead. You're ruining my show. Just go ahead. I'll pull this thing down, and you can go get coffee. See? Now they can see my tits. Look at the show you boys are getting because my wife's crazy. I mean, really. Do you want me to push these together? Honey, Ant-Man called me squid tits about a week ago, and it's really catching on. Yeah. Maybe I'll do a little dance for him while you're getting your coffee. Like this? Huh? Just think about this. This is going to be the most clipped portion of the show. How dare you? Hey, look, man, the quarters are tight. I don't want to hear any shit from you people. Oh, boy. Children's palettes? That could be it. Large Mouse, thank you so much. You are a gentleman. And if everybody enjoyed getting a free membership or a gifted membership, you know, you could consider doing what Swagdas did, and that's just becoming a YouTube member. I mean, God forbid you give out gifted memberships to other people, but you at least make a selfish decision. Thank you, Swagdas. And thank you to Largemouth Ass for being here and being silly geese. Oh, boy. Clarita, do not take your wallet out when I'm fucking putting on a show with the squid tits, all right? That's not what type of show this is. This is a family fucking situation. All right, let me update the fun boys. Large mouth. You know what? I'm just going to go. I like the idea of his last name being mouth ass. So we're just going to go. Yeah, there we go. How's that look? The fun boys right now is just the fun boy. L mouth ass. Oh, this is silly. You recognize the risky and the right. Great bang for the buck. Oh, that is, yes, that is the Chris Stapleton Traveler back there. And the Buffalo City whiskey is actually a local one. I just picked up a bottle yesterday, and I am looking forward to trying it. Speaking of things we're going to try. So, we're lousy with the fish hats down here. And for those of you that know, this is Fish Hat Summer. I hope that you, and happy Fish Hat. Merry Fish Hat Summer for those of you that celebrate. Whatever your denomination is, feel free to celebrate Fish Hat Summer. And if you're looking at this hat and saying, Dukes, how did you not buy that hat? It is the perfect fish hat. Well, I have a fish hat. But there's someone out there that doesn't. There's someone out there that doesn't own a fish hat this miraculous. Huh? Huh? See how it was there in the store and now it's here in my hand? You see how that works? We call that alchemy. On Solid Dudes on Friday night, I'll be giving away this fish hat. Yes, this beautiful rope fish hat from Bajio. Jesus Christ, this was $35. What the fuck? How much did I charge for my hats, by the way? Every hat down here is $35 to $40. Every single hat. My prices are straight from 2012. Anyone that bitches about my shit, you can bitch about my content, you can bitch about my big fat face, but I tell you what, my prices are reasonable. Not only are we going to be celebrating Fish Hat Summer, we are going to be celebrating Tacky Ashtray Summer. That's right. I picked up an Outer Banks tacky ashtray at a store that time forgot. One of my favorite stores down here, K-Hoons. You walk in there, it's like 1972 all over again. I can't recommend it enough. And they have tacky Outer Banks ashtrays. This is brand new. This was only $5.99. I didn't realize that either. So it balances out. So tomorrow on Solid Dudes, 7 o'clock, right here on YouTube. That's right, I'm driving back tonight just to host this fucking show, so the least you can do is swing on by. We'll be giving away fish hats and tacky ashtrays. I can't even wait. Like, I wish there was a show like this that I was a fan of, because that would be what would keep me plugged in as a fan for the rest of my life. I wish others were as generous as I am. Keith Brill hopes the Fish Hat Summer turns into Turkey Hat Fall. Well, we got to find turkey hats, brother. But for right now, it's Fish Hat Summer. Thank you, Jason from CT, $5. Not at all a super chat. Interesting. You say it's not super, but you sending a $5 super chat is pretty super in my book. So thank you very much for doing that. Okay. I saw this Bronco in the parking lot down here. I've seen a couple with this color scheme. Have you guys ever seen this color scheme on a Ford Bronco? This is the Sasquatch edition. The Sasquatch edition Ford Bronco. I fucking love this. I love the color. I love the highlights. I even like the wheels. They look utilitarian. I like the hard top. This is by far the coolest looking color scheme I have seen. These new Broncos are incredibly hit or miss for me personally. Some of them really look like crossovers. I was very disappointed in the Outer Banks edition Bronco just because of how, I don't know, soccer momish they look. Like, I want it to look like a big fucking, before there were sport utility vehicles, right? Like, what was a Bronco known as back then? What was the Suburban known as? It was something else. It wasn't a sport utility vehicle. That sounds, you know what that sounds like. It sounds like that word we're not allowed to use anymore. I was so impressed by this one. And then I looked it up, and Jesus Christ, I think they're like $65,000, $70,000. So I was like, maybe I'll pump the brakes on it. But driving around the beach in one of these bad boys, that's Livin. I was a big fucking fan. And while we're taking care of news, I do have a bunch to get to today also. We have an update at one of my favorite characters from Dundalk TV. I don't know if you guys are familiar with a gentleman named Bruce Ebert, but just a fantastic recurring character on Dundalk TV. We're going to check in on him. I've got an update from our cave diving episode from the Eagle's Nest, I think is what it's called, down in Florida, the sinkhole where everybody goes to fucking die. I found a video of somebody driving to this motherfucker. Driving, not even diving into it and trying to kill themselves in the murky depths of a fucking bog swamp in Florida. So we'll check in with them as well. And I got a couple of stories from a restaurant that I did not know what I was getting into. And I want your advice on that. But before we get away from Solid Dudes, I mentioned this on Wednesday's episode of the Chad Duke Show. Solid Dudes is on Friday night, 7 p.m., right here on YouTube. One of the things that I am going to cover, and I have received some I think people are scared. I think people are worried about their reputations. I think people don't want it getting out that they agree with a controversial position that I have. And I understand that. If you want to weigh in and you want to quietly agree with something that I'm taking shit for, feel free. I will not dox you here. But I will let you know that more than one person has reached out to me and agreed with me that what we're going to discuss tomorrow night on Solid Dudes, the top 5 reasons that I, Chad Dukes, the Shootster, believes that fried chicken is overrated. Yeah. You heard right. Don't adjust those computer speakers. Took a lot of shit for that. Had some people incredulous. Hey, how'd you get so big, then fatty? And I got a little bit of that. But most people seemed a little disappointed. But there were some people that understood what I was going for. Not that you don't like fried chicken. Not that you wouldn't enjoy fried chicken. Not that you won't eat fried chicken. It's that fried chicken is overrated, and I think the universe is telling us as such. Or at least there's not the market for it that people want you to believe. I've got top 5 reasons why I believe that is the case. And we're going to share that and debate it on Friday night. Ant-Man will be back. Biker Sean will be back. Jim Jester will be back. It's full-time. All the boys have been together in quite some time, so I'm looking forward to that. Not only are we going to discuss that, we're going to discuss this. I don't want to dox who this is, except you can see his picture right there in the lower left. This is a message that I received yesterday at 1:04 p.m. Monday's episode was hilarious. As for 106.7, complete Hassa move, shady as fuck. Of course, he's referring to the fact that 106.7, the fan, has been encroaching on my territory over the past couple of weeks and months, offering jobs, trying to steal bars, contacting sponsors, whether they're knowingly doing it or not. They're all over my fucking turf. And it might be dance fight time. You never know. I'm sure you'll have a great time. Borger's party was fantastic. We didn't even play pinball machines. He had some great conversations with many of his friends. We ended up leaving around 2:30. One funny thing, a kid held a Roman candle backwards by accident and shot himself in the nuts and immediately dropped and sent everyone ducking for cover. A kid held a Roman candle backwards by accident, was it? And shot himself in the nuts and immediately dropped it and sent everyone ducking for cover. By kid, he'll remain clampless. Do you mean largemouth ass himself? Because that seems like something that he would be capable of. Orgy did vanish around 7. If he said goodbye, I sure missed it. That's enough. Enjoy your vacation, fish hat. Thank you very much, Clam. We have not spent a lot of time talking about Largemouth Ass's Independence Day party. And one of the reasons is the people that attended are boobs. None of them have any interest in helping this show. No videos, no picture, no interviews, no recaps. No, this is a funny story. Spider Clamp. Oh, the cat's out of the bag. Spider Clamp cares more about the Chad Duke Show than Orgy Beard, than Iron Mike, than any of the people that attended. And this Facebook message is direct proof of that. This man wants to contribute. He wants to throw people under the bus. Now, I'm not in for doxing children, but one of the reasons I toyed about going to Largemouth Ass's 4th of July party, but when I saw the giant fucking crate of munitions that this blind bastard bought to shoot off in his backyard. It is an expansive backyard. I'm sure he has a palatial estate. The man's done well for himself, and I'm happy for him. I said, no fucking way. Somebody's getting Jason Pierre-Paul'd over at that house. And now it sounds like people were ducking and writhing on the ground because children were shooting themselves in the balls with Roman candles. We're going to talk about that on Friday night. So I know Largemouth Ass just gave us 20 gifted memberships, but he's going to be viciously attacked. Viciously attacked for his troubles. I hope he stops by. He can defend himself. We'd love to have him. I just can't even with the fucking fireworks. I know you people, you're tuning into the show and you're hearing me say fried chicken's overrated. I don't like ranch and blue cheese and fucking fireworks can pound sand. Yes. I'm saying all those things. And if you don't like it, you know what you can do and where you can suck it from. And it ain't the front. I don't get super chats. I do accept super chats on this YouTube channel, just in case those of you who had any questions about that. DC Sports Mark, $4.99 at work and watching the show. Morning episodes are great. Thank you, DC Sports Mark. Shoot in the morning. Shoot in the AM. What are we going to call it? Wake up with Shoot? Breakfast with squid tits? What are we going to call this show? Thank you, DC Sports Mark. You're a kind gentleman. Enoch Boating. That's ridiculous. I'll be turning in to hear this. I assume you're either talking about largemouth ass or fried chicken. Either way, I'm coming with receipts, Enoch. It's not going to just be me screaming and yelling. Although it's usually just me screaming and yelling. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Everybody that super chats is good in my book. Largemouth ass. It was my neighbor's son. He was not injured. Lots of hilarity. See, that's the thing, Largemouth, is that if I'm around kids that are shooting themselves in the balls with fucking fireworks, I'm never going to be able to enjoy that. Here's what you're going to see. My taillights and then me approaching the sound barrier is I hit 88 miles an hour and I head back to the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. That's all you're going to get from me. I can't enjoy myself in that situation, but I can enjoy myself when I get a $10 super chat. I do enjoy $10 super chats because they help me buy a bear skin.
I have my bear skin.
Thank you, Largemouth Ass. It's going to get cold at some point, and I will need a bear skin. So if you all don't mind super chatting, $10 a piece, that helps me buy my bear skin. Okay. All right. So I told you that I've had some new adventures. I've been to some places I've never been before. One of them is a little burg. It's called Edenton. It's called Edenton, North Carolina. Fantastic little spot. I can't recommend it enough. Let me remove this from the studio. See, here what happens is when you load videos, this is why Josh Roke is always telling me to load my videos in beforehand, or I download everything, I upload everything. And I say to him, Soroka, when I upload videos into whatever this is called, StreamYard, sometimes shit happens, so don't you dare laugh. It just locks up for absolutely no reason. Oh, Lord in heaven. I just shared the Free Friday episode with you. I could change the bed music when Joe is speaking. I just wanted you to have something to hear. So Jim Jester has absolutely no idea that we're doing a show right now. If any of you have Jim Jester's cellular telephone number, if you could please text him and let him know that his Volt is doing a show, that would be fantastic, because he's texting me details that I need to know while I'm doing a program. Let me tell you something. When you're doing a program and your producer is actively trying to fucking subvert you, that's some motherfucking shit. Oh, boy. Give me 1 second. Yes. Yes. You have to delete it and then re-upload it, and then the fucking video will work. Because this is a service that I pay for each and every month. This is Edenton/Edenton, North Carolina. If anybody knows how to say it correctly, please let me know. I've heard both. I heard both while I was there. This is the waterfront. There's a giant dock area. There is, there's a lighthouse. There are boats you can hire. I mean, as beautiful and as patriotic a place I've ever been in my fucking life. There was nobody there. If you hate people, Edenton is the place for you. I think I saw maybe 10 people total while I was there. A lot of history. If you are a member of the Tale of a Whale, Whale of a Tale Maritime Book Club, this place is for you. There was a giant fucking battle right out there in that pond out there. Also, if you are a fan, if you're a Lib Woman fan, this is for you as well. They had the Edenton Tea Party that was all about women's rights and all kinds of shit, and they were daughters of the colonials against the English. It's good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff there. They have a beautiful downtown area. This was from there's a giant fucking concrete causeway that goes out into the water that's just there, I think, for you to fish and to enjoy. Just walk out there for free. And this is back towards, that is the Welcome Slender / museum over there. And, of course, they have the Betsy Ross flag. These are not triggered individuals. Nobody's canceling anything around these parts. To wit, this is a giant fucking statue to the fallen soldiers of the Confederacy. Nobody has dragged it down off of its concrete pillar to pretend like that shit didn't happen. And believe me, there are people of all backgrounds walking around in Edenton. Nobody seemed upset. Everybody was fine. It was an absolutely gorgeous town. Gorgeous setup. Very, very lovely. If you're into the waterfront, if you're into nautical history, any of that stuff, plenty of it for you in Edenton. I can't recommend it enough. It's very slow. It's very sleepy. We arrived on Tuesday, and as near as I could tell, half of everything was closed on Tuesday, and I have absolutely no idea why. We walked around to so many different places where I was like, oh, I would love to go in here. I would love to see this. And we couldn't because it said we're closed. What day? Tuesday. And that's fucking it. That was the only day that they chose not to take money, is when this fucking drunken... I was about 3 Pacificos deep at this point. I was looking to fucking whip out that debit card. Some beautiful murals that they had downtown. Gorgeous. Of course, fish hat. That's basically the fish that's on my fish hat. Look at the bass. There's some egrets there. I'm filled with regret. And there is a crab. If you look down on the lower right there, there's a crab that seems to be menacing everybody right in front of the lighthouse. That was closed. That was fucking closed. We couldn't go to the lighthouse. You know why? It was fucking closed. Just like the museum. Nothing online about it being closed on a Tuesday. Fuck me. Fuck me. Beautiful downtown area. What do you think I did at Byram's Hardware? Byram! What do you think I did at Byram's Hardware? I bought a hammer. Because that's what you fucking do when you're in a small town and they got a small town hardware store. You buy a hammer. You support the small town hardware store. You give the double middle finger to Amazon. You give the double middle finger to Home Depot, into Walmart, into wherever the fuck else these places are getting the scourge of small business. I know this is a complex issue. When Amazon, I'm not AOC. When Amazon comes to town and is offering to give 800 jobs to my community, I'm taking a fucking phone call. But what can I do? I go to Byram's Hardware and I buy a fucking hammer. You know how many hammers I got at my house? It looks like a fucking Iron Mike fucking penis off. I got so many fucking iron hammers at my house. I got a hump off going on in my garage. You know what I'm going for. That's how many hammers I got. And I went to Byram Hardware, and there was a 400-year-old man, and I went right up to him, and I said, "Sir, where are your hammers?" And he walked me back. He didn't point. He didn't spray and pray. He walked me like a human, like a gentleman, back to the hammers. And you see that hammer right there? I'm giving that hammer away on Friday night. So not only are we giving away a fish hat, not only are we giving away a tacky fucking Outer Banks ashtray, but we're giving away a signed Byram Hardware hammer. Because that's what we do. That's what we do around here. We support the hardware store, and that's just fucking great.
Well, that's great. That's just fucking great, man.
You're going to love it. Of course you buy a fucking hammer. Of course. Let's fucking go. Anywho, nice little downtown area. Everybody was excited. I already showed you that. Plenty of water. Plenty of places for you to stop and grab yourself a beer if you like. At some point, I'm going to ask you to estimate how many different forms of Pacifico I've had. I'll give you a hint. It's more than 2. It's more than 2. We figured out a way to have it in every single format that it comes in, because that's what I do. One of the reasons we wanted to go to Edenton is that my lovely bride is a fan of seafood. I'm a fan myself. A little joint called the Herringbone. It's out there. Now, the Herringbone is one of the cooler places I've ever been to have a meal. It is an old herring processing plant, in that there was giant ice blocks. It was an ice house. You walk in, you can tell that's what it was. They've done an amazing job of incorporating the architecture of the original structure into the restaurant. There's actually ice hooks in the ceiling. As you're eating, you can look up and see them from the original structure. This is a beautiful place. I actually was quite shocked. It's right on the waterfront. This is the Schoodester enjoying a Pacifico on the outside patio area of the Herringbone. This is one of 3 different ways I enjoyed Pacifico this fine day. I plan on duplicating that today on our final day at the Outer Banks. But it's right on the water, as you can see. Absolutely gorgeous. I don't know what it is about. If you can figure out a place where you can eat in the shade while looking at water, I don't know why. I don't know why we humans are so drawn to it, but fucking Lord knows that I am. Highly recommend. I'm not getting $1 in my pocket from these people. The inside was absolutely, this is the bar. Just spectacular. As you can see, they have a longboat up there that I think was used. I think that was actually a boat they used in the facility, and they incorporated it into the structure. The artwork with the wood paneling behind the bar. This bar is beautiful. It's S-shaped, so there's a lot of different sight lines, and you can see the water from a lot of the different seats from inside the bar. Very nice bourbon selection. Of course, I was sticking with the Mexican lager. Corey said, how close is that to Manteo? It is 1 hour and 10 minutes from Manteo. So if you are staying in the South Nags Head, Manteo area, this is a day trip, a very easy day trip. We did it in one day, came back, and still was able to. We had lunch at the Herringbone, was able to come back and have dinner at the Outer Banks, and 100% we're going back in the fall. I can't even imagine not being at this place in the autumn. It defies logic how gorgeous. I bet that that Edenton and Edenton is in the autumn. I can't even imagine how fantastic it is, and I'm looking forward to it. I really am. You might ask yourself, what did you enjoy for supper at the Herringbone? I had the tile fish, and this is the tile fish, and maybe you're looking at that and saying, Dukes, that doesn't seem like you. That looks like there's several different types of vegetables there. There's not a thick hollandaise-like sauce all over everything. And I understand that, and maybe that's my reputation. This was fucking fabulous. And it's led to my new nickname that a lot of people down here at the Outer Banks have started calling me. And at first, I didn't realize that it was catching on. But then about the second or third restaurant that I went into, I heard people whispering, there goes Dukesy Tilefish. I think that's Dukesy Tilefish over there. He eats more tilefish than anyone on the Outer Banks. Holy shit. Is that Dukesy Tilefish? I want to get a picture, but I don't want to disturb him. You know, we don't decide the nicknames that we get. But I've eaten so much tilefish this weekend. I guess it's in. They're out there fishing for it. They're pulling it off the fucking boats. It's special basically everywhere. It's a light fish. I can't recommend it enough. This was fucking spectacular. I'm not even a big, those are little tomatoes. I'm not a big tomato fan. There's pieces of shrimp, and the pieces of shrimp in this dish are the best food I've ever had in my life. Better than any steak, better than any slice of pizza, better than any biggie. There was these little pieces of blackened shrimp that were combined with the sauce and all the, it was unbelievable. And I've decided that I'm a tilefish guy now. That's what I have decided. You don't have to call me Dukesy Tilefish. As a matter of fact, I'll probably be, I will be a little bit uptight about it because my reputation will have preceded me at that point. But my goodness gracious, was that absolutely fantastic. The only criticism that I had of the Herringbone is this sign. This sign hangs right next to the bar, and it says, selected hand-picked Albemarle brand jumbo peanuts packed by Albemarle Peanut Co., Edenton, North Carolina. And this is right next to the bar. And we decided, this is the move that my wife and I have is like we go have dinner in the dining room to experience that. And then afterwards we go have a drink at the bar to experience that. So we walked over to the bar, and it's this beautiful room. There's very tall ceilings because it's this old herring plant. And we sat down, and the fish was delicious. But when you're eating like a human being, what I realized is it's not like when you go out and order a fucking 36-ounce ribeye or a bacon cheeseburger or an entire large pizza at Spatoni's. You're not sick afterwards. You don't feel like you want to throw up, which is what happens every time I eat because I eat so fucking much. So we'd had this beautiful fish dinner. They had a smoked cornbread with smoked salt butter. Holy shit. I've never needed less butter, real butter, on a piece of bread in my life. It was just unbelievably flavorful. So I was still a little peckish, and I was like, holy shit, jumbo peanuts while I'm sitting here and enjoying a Pacifico. That sounds perfect. So I asked the bartender, I said, hey, do you guys actually have these Albemarle jumbo peanuts? And he looked at me like I had a fucking alien crawling out of my head. and said, no, we don't, stupid. And that was the only part of the trip that I found to be less than stellar. Is I was like, well, you get this giant. We're near the Albemarle Sound, right? It says Edenton. We're at a bar. Salted peanuts would be great in a bar. I think it's a good. I think it's a good learning lesson. I really do. If you're ever going to open a bar and you're going to hang a goddamn sign that says we have jumbo salted peanuts, people might fucking ask. But I digress.
Hit like you craving milksops. I need you to smash that like button, you craving milksops. I'm begging you. I'm pleading with you. For the love of Clinton, hit like you craving milksops.
Fish Hat here. I too would like you to hit the like button.
Boy, that really came out of nowhere, didn't it? Yeah, jumbo peanuts, if you're going to fucking advertise them, let's make with the jumbo goddamn peanuts. I know that is a controversial stand to take, but that's me, Johnny Controversy. Or Dukesy Tilefish. You can call me whatever you like, but both of those work. Both of those would be appropriate. Oh, boy. Oh, look at this, a super chat. Bobby Double L with the orange boy. Let's fucking go. NC Dukes shows our special type of treat for a fine Thursday. Hashtag Orange Boys Mafia. That is very sweet of you, Bobby Double L. And speaking of North Carolina,
Edmund teaches scurvy-stained blade. Bobby Double L is on the scene.
so I went back to that place where I recorded that video and I wanted to update it, but there were so many kids and there were so many families and there was like Instagram girls taking pictures. And so my wife said, we're not doing this. We're not doing this here. And I said, okay. I'll embarrass you in other ways, woman, but not today. Bobby, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. This one's on me. Speaking of people I need to thank, Bobby, thank you so much, brother. You continue to dominate in the support category for this program. I got to thank our guy, Grimy, DJ Grimy, and that beat is Fuego Dog, because not only did I get this, wait for that beat to drop, yo. Hell yeah. Come on. So I got 3 minutes of that shit. I can play that for the duration of the show if I want to. DJ Grimy coming through big, but he also gave me this. Straight from the hip, cut to the chase. I'll tell motherfucker stuck to her face. Come on. Yeah, so Grimy gave me some fucking sick beats to use on the channel that are unclaimable, untouchable for those bad boys. Let's do it, Grimy. Thank you so much, buddy. It's good to see you back in the chat, and I still think your Eagles are the best team in the NFC East. How about that? How about that, Mango? Although, my official reaction to the Washington Commanders' worst name in the league, the throwback uniforms they just announced, beautiful. The only problem is it just showed how terrible the fucking uniforms they've been wearing the past couple of years are. They fucking put the burgundy pants, the crisp white shirts, the W on the side is still regrettable. I would have thrown the fucking spear on there. I know they're never going to bring back the actual gentleman that they're honoring that the Indian people seem perfectly fine with. But Mike Wise is going to be offended for everybody. I get it. But man, those look good. Yeah, you can't fucking deny it. And I won't. Even though I'm a lifelong Tennessee Titans fan. I will not deny those look slick, and they're going to look good in them. So congratulations to all you Commandos fans. Your boys got it right. All right. Hello, Elizabeth Kane. Happy Fish Hat Summer to you. So I headed down south to the land of the pines. I was strumming my way into North Carolina and headed up the road to pray to God I see sunlight. But these North Country winters started getting me down. I digress. I headed to Pops. This is Pops, Raw Bar and Tavern down in, I think it's not Frisco, Buxton. I believe this is Buxton, North Cackalack. This is one of the places. Monk only goes to 3 restaurants when he lives down in Buxton. Oh, I just threw up in my mouth. And this is one of them. This fucking bar. Now, what you can't see in this picture is that right underneath this sign is a sign that says, I came to this bar, I'm paraphrasing, to watch my Kansas City Chiefs whip your team's ass. It's a terrible sign. Apparently, Ant-Man got hammered there one night and demanded that they hang a Chiefs sign. He ordered that one off Amazon, had it sent to the bar, and they hung it up there. So if you go to Pops, there's a little bit of Ant-Man's essence, Tony Slices, Anthony Cuppinchars, or pepperoni, as they called him back in the day. It's there. I try not to let that color my interpretation or my impression of this place. This place is fucking great. It is a double-wide trailer on the side of the road that happens to have incredible seafood. It was packed when we got there. I decided, because we were having a beautiful supper a little bit later at a place called the 1587 Club. The 1587. I didn't want to get all tanked up. So I got the crab wasabi bites. The crab wasabi bites at Pops. Those are these. They don't photogenize all that well, but I gotta say, these were absolutely fantastic. If you are somebody that enjoys spice, you enjoy heat, you enjoy wasabi, you know that the wasabi flavored shit has been thrown around quite liberally over the past few years. People claiming that things are wasabi flavored, and they barely are. These were ball breakers. Ball breakers. Bit into one of those, and it gave you that power washing of the sinus cavity that you're really looking for if you're a big wasabi guy, and I am. So they were absolutely fantastic. I don't know what else is on here. This is just like they have a standard menu too. These are just all their specials that they had every day, and it was just beautiful. Had some. You're not gonna believe this, but I had Pacifico in a glass bottle. You can see the top of the bottle there. So that's 2 different ways I've had it thus far: in the bottle and in the draft. You know I prefer it in the can, but hadn't found that yet. But it was just absolutely fantastic. And then we bumped into this guy who'd done some fishing. Big verbal nod to Radio's Gigantor for putting over the Righteous Felon Craft Jerky. Available now at Commonwealth Dry Goods. He is modeling the bourbon flavor, which apparently he caught out on the river. I'm not sure how. Can't recommend this jerky enough. It's been flying off the shelf. If you are a beef jerky person, I think Corey Rita would agree. This is great shit. It is available now on CommonwealthDryGoods.com. So if you'd like to place an order, I will ship it out as soon as I get home. If you're not in the area, if not, stop on by the shop. I'll be there on Saturday working. I didn't even take a week off. Joey's took 3 fucking weeks off to then go take another vacation. It's not the way I work. I like to have my hands in it. I like to be a part of it. I like to be touching it and rubbing it and grinding on it. I'm pushing my tits together on it. Squid tits. Great jerky. So Tor is endorsing it, of course. Can't recommend it enough. Go put yourself together an order today. Oh, Keith Brill said, what is the name of the beer that Ted always orders in restaurants? It is El Guapo. Yes, that's the name of that. El Guapo. El Guapo. Anyway, go grab some jerky. It is absolutely splendiferous, and you will love it. CommonwealthDryGoods.com. And thank you to Gigantor for always being such a fantastic model for all of our products. It's what we need. It's what we need from him. A giant Yeti fucking Sasquatch motherfucker supporting our program. This, for those of you that are members of the Whale of a Tale Maritime Book Club. Absolutely fantastic group of gentlemen. We had our first book club at the end of last month. We have our next one in a couple of weeks. We're reading a great book called The Wager by the same gentleman that wrote Killers of the Flower Moon. Did I say that right? Flowers of the Killing Face. Flowers of the Moon Face Kill. If you would like to join, you can just message me. It is a private group, but we're always looking for new members. If you like reading about brigandage and pirates and privateers and scurvy and all kinds of shit. We've been all nonfiction thus far, but you never know what's going to happen. And it's been a shitload of fun. Had a really good time. And one of the things that I like to do is I like to support small local shops, and there's a bunch of bookstores. Usually what I have found, and I don't take offense to this if you are a socialist lib, everybody's welcome to listen to my shit. And I probably share some views of yours, and maybe you share some of mine. I don't know. But I lean conservatively. I would like to pay less taxes. I would like the country to be secure. I'd like to support law enforcement and the military. I'd like the same things you would. I'd like the Epstein files to be released. I'd like the government to be shrunk. There's just a couple of things that we differ on that I don't know that we're ever going to get past. Like, I've got no problem with people taking, you got to take a drug test if you want to be on welfare. It is radical shit, I know. But of course that means you're a fascist. Point being, I like to support local bookstores, but what I've noticed about local bookstores is that they really, over the past few years, have become like very propaganda heavy. And it's just something that, whatever, you deal with it. I've bought books from places where I know goddamn well that if they know the way I voted, they wouldn't want me in there. And I look past that because I like to support small businesses. There's a great bookstore down here in the Outer Banks that I actually finally got to visit. Check this out. How cool is this? This is Buxton Village Books. This is just a house. And you walk into this bad boy, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's magical. The lady that owns it is named Gigi. I just met Gigi yesterday. Again, I'm sure politically we don't have a lot in common, but she's a wonderful woman and a small business owner and been there for 100 fucking years. And it's a great shop. I highly recommend it. It is worth the trip. If you are staying up north, this was about an hour away from where I was. It's worth driving down if you're not going to do anything else other than go check this place out. And I've been ordering from there to support our book. I wanted our book club to support this shop, so I wanted to go check it out and talk to her. And she was very cool and very appreciative, and is offering up a discount to anybody that wants to. And you don't even have to be in our book club, I think, is what it sounded like. And I did pick up our next book, which I'm very excited about. It is The Phantom Fleet by Alexander Rose, The Hunt for Nazi Submarine U-505 and World War II's Most Daring Heist. Gets really good reviews. There's a couple of authors that said they liked it that we have already dabbled with. So, yeah. Again, I don't get a fucking dollar, but this is something I believe in, and that is being a human and supporting human endeavors, and that's what we're going to do. So if you are in our Maritime Book Club, the Whale of a Tale Maritime Book Club, I ask that you order from Buxton Village Books. And when you do, just type in that you're in the book club in the comments, and she says she'll knock 10% off. She'll give us the old Iron Mike discount, which I thought was pretty damn cool. Because you don't know me from Adam. But, yeah, I'd rather send business this lady's way than, every other place that gets all the business anyway. Since 1984. Gonna try to make it down there when I'm there in Thanksgiving. Yeah, it's definitely worth your time, Corey. I think anybody would enjoy the drive down too. It's beautiful down there. Couple little tidbits. The downtown Manteo area, if you are into nautical shit, if you're into ships, it's just absolutely beautiful. This is from the lighthouse. They have a lighthouse you can walk out to. And Mannion, if you look back, that is the pirate ship on the right there, where I believe they use it for the Lost Colony, live action reenactment play on the left, all types of boats, little downtown wharf area. Alexander, not that type of wharf. Alexander, stay in my quarters, Alexander. Oh, the Batlift tournament. Oh, look at me. There's a bunch of wharfs around here. Oh, they're different time streams. Alexander.
Perhaps today is a good day to die.
I gotta practice my wharf. Has a tendency to fuck me up. Prepare for ramming speed. There's a Worf, Lieutenant Commander Worf, TNG Aero Worf, not DS9 Aero Worf. And if you look way back there, there's a bridge over which you cross to go to Bluegrass Island, which is where Travis Tritt just played, and I believe Whiskey Myers is playing in a couple of weeks, and Dukes is going to be at that motherfucker. So absolutely gorgeous area. I don't know that everybody that stays in Corolla or stays in Duck makes it this far south, but well worth your time. And this is me and the old girl who is kicking ass on this trip. She's doing absolutely fantastic, and that is the lighthouse behind us. And as you can see in this photo, I have horrific ankle socks. I didn't realize they were poking out that much. I'd like to apologize to you, the viewer. And then furthermore, that is me drinking Pacifico out of a can in public. I was drunk in a bar. They threw me into public. Yeah, there's a big boardwalk area, and Ellen was the fucking bee's knees. People were jumping out of their shit to pat her. Completely different than Fairfax. If you've ever walked your dog around Fairfax, it's God bless some Indian and Asian people just diving off the sidewalk terrified. I don't know why. Ellen is not vicious. And in North Carolina, everybody was just trying to pat Ripley. And because she couldn't get enough, she was the most popular fucking girl. So it was great. And walked out there and walked all around the downtown area. And it was just an absolutely beautiful evening. And hopefully today I'm meeting up with Josh Schroka. And I'm meeting up with I think Samoa Bo is down here. That's right. I don't know if his arms work, but you guys remember Bo, this guy. You know Bo, don't you? I think you guys know.
Yeah, well, I got some inappropriate attire for you.
You guys aware of the comedic sellings of one small boy?
Got him staggered, Mafia. Let's use attack formation beta.
Every once in a while, I'm going back and checking to make sure the stream looks okay, and I get to that part, and I'm like, oh, that's right. This is where we mimic drab T-shirt blowing Bo, and I'm having sex with his butt on YouTube. So, yeah, meeting up with him and with Josh tomorrow, and I'm very much looking forward to that. All right, a couple more things before we get on over to Dundalk TV, and I want to get an update on my guy, Bruce Ebert. So, this is... it's not oftentimes where I don't know what's right and what's wrong. I think you guys know I got pretty strong opinions, pretty strong convictions about my opinions, whether I'm incorrect or correct. I'll argue from both sides. And we're at a restaurant, beautiful restaurant here in downtown Manio. It's in the Tranquil Inn. Highly recommend. It's called the 1587 Lounge, I think is what it's called. I would get a reservation. And we're right there sitting on the water, and we're inside, but you can see, obviously, the boats and everything. It's beautiful. A couple of things happen. One, a couple sits to our left, and the man is demonstrably younger than the woman, okay? The man appears to be younger than me. Not that I'm particularly young, but the woman is in her 60s. If you told me she was in her upper 60s, I would absolutely say that's conceivable. He appeared to be in his late 30s, beard, little overweight, taller guy, and the waitress comes around, same server that we had, and when she asks, what would you all like to eat, not only does the dude order for the woman, the woman doesn't say a fucking word. He says, my wife will have the crab cakes. I will have the whatever, and we will split the watermelon salad. She doesn't say a fucking word. He does all the talking. Now, ordering for the table, in my opinion, is a power move. Reminds me of a lot of mafia movies. I think it's kind of cool. You know, there's that scene in Get Shorty where Danny DeVito orders an egg white omelet and a bunch of strawberry, non-alcoholic, fucking fruity drinks for everybody, and they're all miserable. But it's a power move, right? I wouldn't call me a feminist, but it was incredibly, I thought, disrespectful. Not just old-fashioned, like I'm going to hold the door for a lady. Like there's things that I think that women, for the most part, like, and publicly, some very vocal people have decided that they're disparaging. This is not that. This was weird. This was weird, and she didn't say anything. The dude then goes on to speak about himself in ways that would make you think that these two were on a first date. Explaining his background, explaining his friends and some tragedies in his life, like telling this woman about himself. He introduced her to the waitress didn't even introduce her, said, this is what my wife will have. And then they proceeded to have a conversation that very much sounded like they just met. So my wife and I were trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Like, what is going on here? Like, I've eaten and everywhere. Take a look at this body. You don't build this body by fasting when you go on vacation. In a lot of parts of this country, a lot of parts in the deeper South, in the middle of the country, wherever you would think that a man would order for a woman, I never heard it. I've never heard it happen. I've never seen it happen. I've certainly never seen it happen with a guy that was 20 to 30 years younger. He wasn't particularly good looking either. Here was my thought initially. One is he's hired. He's been hired. I don't know if he was hired for sex, but I think that it's possible that he could have been hired for companionship. Now, when a dude does this, it reminds me of American Psycho, where he picks up that hooker and he says, you will respond to this name. You are going to call me Paul Allen. That whole deal, like there's some role acting there. But it ends up, of course, mudding her out. I didn't get that vibe from this interaction. I don't know what the fuck was going on. Either there was an incredibly large age gap, and these two were married, and they were so familiar with themselves that he can order for her. Like, I could almost understand if, like, they were contemporaries, if the man was her age because they're from a different era, and maybe they got their beds pushed aside, they're single beds, they live like Howard Stern's parents, like maybe he's been ordering for her for 20 years, I don't know, but it couldn't be. It couldn't be, because we thought it was a son and a mom when they sat down, and he said my wife very clearly. So we were trying to figure out what it was. And the only thing that I could come up with is some sort of a role play. And if the role play was she hired him, that would make sense. More than just she's found somebody's kid that's willing to do this, or she's dating someone much younger. Maybe she had money. I just can't see a woman in 2025 not being a part of some scenario where that happens. It was the lady looked like she had money. I don't know. No. She looked like I don't know. What does look like have money mean? I mean, she's down here. A lot of people down here own boats. There's some big ass fucking houses down here. It was a nice restaurant, so I guess it's possible. But it flummoxed me. And it was something that I really couldn't put a finger on as to what was going on. But my best guess was not necessarily a gigolo, but, when Biker Sean came back from Tokyo, he talked about all the sad Tokyo men that would literally just hire girls to hang out with them at the bar and be nice to them. We think of that as sad, but if you're a lonely person and maybe you're socially awkward, I don't know if this is a woman that's lost two husbands or her family's gone, or I don't know. It was a very odd thing to witness. And it was they were not hiding it from anybody, or at least he wasn't. And he's fucking bloviating and going on and on. So we're talking about that. And my wife gets the check, and I grab it, and I'm like, hey, you paid for dinner last night. Let me pay for this. And so I grab the check, and I look down, and it's $100. And I ordered the tile fish. as I often do. She ordered the ribeye, and it's that great bit. You guys know I love this bit. That I always order something that ends up being the more feminine of the two dishes. And so when the fucking waiter, like the waitress in these nicer places doesn't bring you the food, like they've got a guy to bring the food. And most of the time they'll make a note as to who ordered what. But a lot of times they get there and they just assume he must have ordered this giant piece of meat and she must have ordered this very delicate fish, which, you know, would seem to be common sense. So they put the porterhouse in front of me, or the ribeye, excuse me, in front of me, and they put the fish. We had to do that little dance. But she had a martini, and I had a 3 or 4 Pacificos, and you know, we're thinking $150, $200 because it's a nice joint, and the tab's $90. Tab's $90, and I said, there ain't no fucking way. Something's wrong. There ain't no fucking way. Maybe there was a special. Maybe somebody said, oh look. Over there, that's Dukesy tilefish, and they just decided to knock the tilefish off. I don't know. I looked down at the menu, at the receipt, and the tilefish is not on the receipt. Like all of her stuff is, my drinks are, but the tilefish isn't. So they're busy at this point. I turned to my wife and I said, I think they forgot to charge us for the fish. We should say something, or do we leave? Oh, I forgot to tell you, the credit card had already been run. Like, when she just came over, I just handed it. I don't do the bit where we fucking sit there and parse through the receipt and argue about who have what. I throw the card down, please, so you don't have to make an extra trip. Run it on this card, and then we will figure it out. Maybe this is an example of how that isn't the right way of going about business, but it's the way I fucking go about business, all right? So, we look down at the receipt that has already been paid for, and it's light. It's substantially light. And I say, shit. We've already paid for it. You know, should we look up? Should we leave? And she's like, I don't think we should. This is, you know, not a chain restaurant. This isn't a fucking Outback in Arlington. You know, this is a goddamn, family-run establishment. It's been here for 100 years. So, like, you're right. I go up to the waitress, and she's busy. And I'm kind of waiting around. I'm trying to fucking hang back and not interrupt her as she's taking other people's orders. And I hang around, and I skulk around, and I creep around, and I Fez Watley around. And finally, I say, hey, I think they forgot to put the tilefish on this tab. You can go ahead and run the same card if you like. She was exasperated. Like, there was no, oh, thank you. Oh, that's very nice. Oh, that's great. Most people would just leave. She seemed annoyed. And they took the tab back, and then another 10 minutes went by. And she brought back a second check that had already been run with the tilefish on it. So it was an additional credit card charge, which is not that big of a deal, but it was. And then another receipt. And there was nothing said about thank you for being honest. I would have gotten in some shit. Even if she wouldn't have gotten any shit, right? Like, I assume as soon as the waitress puts your items into the POS system, I would assume that it's on somebody else that didn't do the charging. But I don't know. I didn't want to get her in touch with her employer, and neither did my wife. But they didn't say a fucking thing. It was just charge, okay, thanks, and then that was it. I found that to be very strange. And then I was consumed on the way out with, did we fucking screw the pooch here by not just walking the shit out? By just saying, the world is a balancing act, and this will balance itself off with the next time you get overcharged, or they throw an extra beverage on, or all the shit that happens when you go out to a restaurant. And I was like, God damn it. You're not supposed to do the right thing because you want a certain reaction, right? Like, you're not supposed to give a gift because you want a gift back. That's not the right mindset. But that was my mindset. Like, I wanted her to say, wow, you're a good person. Nobody else would do this. Everybody else would just walk out of here and pocket the $60 or whatever the difference was. And there wasn't a goddamn thing said about it. Now, my wife's point of view was, this is a nice place. We want to come back. We own a small business. People have come back in and said, hey, you forgot to. There have been times when I've been yapping with people so much at Commonwealth Dry Goods that they will walk out without paying. Big bag of shit. $120 worth of shit, which for us is like a big hit. And they'll come back in and say, you know, I didn't fucking even run my card. And it's like, oh, thank God, you're human. You know? There's shit all over on the counter. Like there's a cheerwine tucked behind the square system. Like, hey, did you get this? You got this, right? Like people have done that hundreds of times at the shop. So there's goodness out there, and that was an extension of what this is. But I'm always very appreciative when they do it. It's like, you don't have to do that. People say, oh, I don't need a bag, or you don't have to print out the receipt. It's like, hey, man, thanks so much. You're looking out for me. There was none of that here. And my wife's point was, it don't matter. We like the place, good service. We want to come back. It's the right thing to do. This isn't fucking Olive Garden. Not that it makes it okay for Olive Garden, but Olive Garden is this massive entity that has like shrink built in. Who knows if this place does. I don't know. Do you take the cash out of the wallet before you call the number and say, I found your wallet? I won't steal your credit cards. I ain't going to do it. But I won't lie and say that when I was in my 20s or in my teens, if I found a wallet, I didn't open that bad boy up to see if there was any money in it. I'd almost view that too. I've had people do that. I've had people give me a wallet back, call me and give me my wallet back when I know there was $100 in there and it's gone. I'm like, that's your tip for me not having to cancel all these fucking credit cards. Like that's a somewhat of a different scenario. But I didn't know what the right call was there. Like sometimes when you're at Harris Teeter and you walk out and you realize they didn't scan the fucking case of water on the underside of the cart, you're like, am I going to go back in here and make sure that this, I don't know. It's easy to sit here and pretend like take the moral high ground 100% of the time. I don't do that. I try to, for the most part. I roll my cart back 100% of the time. But it's difficult. Knowing the reaction and knowing how much it was dismissed is somewhat lessening my desire to do that again. Jason says, you can't risk the bad karma. She was in the weeds. It's annoying, but it's still honest. Yeah, it was annoying. The only thing that ended up happening is whatever the difference in the credit card fee. I guess I'm going to have to eat that. And then, of course, we had to sit around waiting for it to take place. And nobody seemed all that happy that it did. So, yeah. Interested, if you leave a comment or shoot me a message on your thoughts on either one of those, I would be in your debt because I was, again, a bit flummoxed when it comes to that whole deal and whether or not I did the right thing. Okay. For those of you that watch the all of the stuff that we do over here on YouTube, then you are familiar with this set of circumstances. And for those of you that don't, I have, unbeknownst to me, lots of people were having difficulty finding content here on this platform. I don't know why. There seemed to be a group of, and I'm not, if you guys are familiar with Tom O.B., I'm not singling him out, but there seems to be a mindset, my dad has this, from older gentlemen where they really, really embrace that I'm old and I don't know how things work and I don't want to dirt. It's like, I get some of that. I get frustrated with technology. But it's kind of stupid. And it's kind of lazy. And I don't think Tom's stupid or lazy. I think Tom's a real smart guy. It ain't hard to find the content. It isn't. You go to the YouTube page. All of these live streams are under live stream. They're all there. But I posted something in the Super Secret Supporter chat. And there's 3 or 4 people. They're like, no, I don't know where the fuck anything. Well, fuck this. I'm not going to go. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do then. Because you're a paying customer. If you were just a friend of mine, it's smacking the back of the fucking head. But you're a paying customer. I'm going to take these fucking links for these shows, for those that are interested, and I'm going to post them in the Super Secret Supporter chat. Okay? This is on Facebook right now. If you are a member of the Super Secret Supporter chat, you can watch these at any time you want. There is an incredibly large back catalog of content over there. It ain't hard to find. You go to the front fucking page. You go to Chad at Duke's show on Facebook and scroll down. All the videos are there. But for those of you that are, it's fine. I'll leave you in your curmudgeonry. I don't view this as the main course. I view this as supplementary, right? This is a Carnation Instant Breakfast where if you subscribe to the Chad Duke Show, it's bacon and eggs. Okay? I get it. But this can be fun. And I enjoy this. And I enjoy this because I can interact with you. I'm going to take these links and I'm going to post them so that the curmudgeons can just click on them. not put forth the effort that it takes to find them, and you'll be fine. That way you can live your life and be comfortable. And that's the way it works. Yeah, Corey, I mean, if you want to try to do that, that's cool. But I don't know if you saw the same thread that I did where people were like, I don't know where anything is, and I'm not going to go looking. It's like, okay. It's different than if someone says, hey, I'm having trouble. A couple of people are like, I can't find the stuff. Can anybody help me, please? I'm so sorry. It's like, ask. Ask. I would like you to view my content. Whatever it takes to do that, that's what we want. My goal is that all 63 of you view the content. But anyway, the reason I bring it up is we did an episode I think it was on Independence Day, where it was almost 4 hours. It was a lot of fun. And one of the things we covered is this sinkhole in Florida that's called the Eagle's Nest. And for those of you that didn't see that episode, I'll just give you a quick thumbnail. There's a giant, completely circular sinkhole in Florida, and you dive down into it. And once you get down to the bottom, there's 2 pipelines, basically, that are like a human size across. You swim down into that, and there is a gigantic chamber that they call the ballroom that they said is basically like impenetrable darkness. And I guess people bring light so they can see, but like when you first descend into it, it's just you're in a sea of black is what they call it. And at the very bottom, there's a giant detritus pile where I guess shit falls down from when it storms or whatever. It falls down through the bottom of this cave and all piles up on the bottom. And off to either side are these very long tunnels that have their own chambers in them. And it's described as one of the most dangerous places on Earth because of how many people have died swimming around in there. And at the video that we covered was, I believe they stated that it was 1 in every 11 cave deaths in Los Estados Unidos. Maybe the whole world. Might have been the whole world. Happened there. That's how many deaths there are. And they go on and they tell you about the deaths, and it's expert divers, it's cave divers, it's rescue divers that are diving in trying to save the people that are killing themselves. They're finding the bodies on the detritus pile. They're finding the bodies wedged 250 feet up the guideline where somebody starts pulling in the wrong direction. People start breathing the wrong chemicals and hallucinating and losing their fucking minds. It just sounds awful. And we were trying to, while we were discussing this, come to some sort of a conclusion what it is that drives human beings to do this when there's, what I've been describing over the past 90 minutes or so. Eat a beautiful meal next to the water, next to some boats, walk around a little boardwalk, visit a small town, enjoy a draft beer. I mean, there's a lot of ways to fucking enjoy your afternoon. And there's even a lot of ways to, if you're an endorphin popping type of guy, get your fix without exposing yourself to horrible, awful death. And I think that's the issue. I think that's the issue, is that I do not get what people are born with, where they are forced to spend their time this way, or at least they feel they're forced. So I found something that makes this even more difficult to comprehend. And that is what it takes to get to this motherfucker. Okay? This is the drive. This is the drive to the Eagle's Nest. Okay? This is what it takes to get there. These people are clearing branches. There's no pavement. There's no gravel. Look at that windshield. It would be one thing if there's a big medical station, there's a big dive tent, there's a snack bar, there's a pro shop, they're selling scuba diving equipment, there's a big giant fucking piece of rebar that runs from the top of the diving point all the way down to the bottom. This, to me, made it that much more baffling, is that this is what it takes just to get to this shithole. Now, you come across these puddles, right? And you don't know how deep they are. You don't know how far they go. Look at that. Like, what are you going to do? You're out in the middle of some godforsaken fucking park in the middle of Florida. And you're sitting in front of this hole to try to get to the hole that you want to die in. You got to go out and you got to either walk around in it or you got to find a big stick, because if you have to have rented a car, right? Is anyone taking their personal vehicle on this trip? I mean, at this point, you really have to be committed to the cause. All right, let's see what this dude does. Yeah, look, he's checking it with a stick. Look at that. I mean, just to get here. This is the goal. This is the bog. It was described in the comments as infested with ticks and mosquitoes. Absolutely infested. I just can't even imagine. And so this looks like it's a successful trip down to the bottom. Here it is. That must be the chamber on how to get down to the ballroom. Look at all the different types of gas coming off this motherfucker. Look at all the different stuff he has. And one of the reasons why we know that that's necessary is this chamber goes down so deep that at some point you got to switch your gas because you can't just be sucking oxygen anymore. Like, that's the part of it that, again, is terrifying, is that it's not just, you can't just be, you basically have to be a chemist. Got to be certified in that as well. But I just don't know how do you not get hung up? Something's got to get hung up on that on a regular basis. Look at the fucking outcroppings. Look how tight that looks. And I guess this is cool. Like, these gentlemen that have done this, maybe they're looking at me and saying anybody can drive to the Herringbone in Edenton and enjoy a beautiful meal with their wife, walk around the waterfront. Anyone can do that. There's the sign. There's the sign, everybody, that they put at the bottom of a fucking sinkhole. Prevent your death. Go no further. Nothing politically correct about this sign. There is a grim reaper surrounded by dead scuba divers. But no, you know better, right? Like, you're going to get out of this without a fucking scratch. Okay. And this is cool. Like, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that this isn't interesting. 230 feet to 270 feet in depth. So they got those little turbine jobbers that they warned that it's a risk using because it can kick up all the silt that's down inside of this mother grabber. Right? And then you can see all that silt right there that he just kicked up. Like, you get all that shit going and you don't know if you're heading upstream or downstream. And this is nice. It really is. But you know what else is nice? Watching this video. There's life experiences that I think that it would be worth the risk. Like, if you could do this, and at the end of it, there's a Kardashian waiting to sit on your face, okay. I can understand that. At the end of it, there's one of those Japanese chefs that cut up those poisonous blowfish that if you don't prepare them the right way, you have a heart attack and drop dead right there. I don't know. What's the reward that's worth this? Making a YouTube video about it isn't enough reward. Maybe the community, though. I mean, flowers from your own peeps, from your own people, it definitely does touch you in a different way. For instance, I was texting with Sonny Ledford the other day, and he said that the lyrics for Atlantico Amigos was perfect. And, you know, I've gotten a lot of compliments about that song, which is nice. But if it's a guy who's actually written and performed songs that you enjoy, it does mean a lot more. So if these assholes are part of a cave diving community, and they can say that they successfully went in and dove into one of the most dangerous caves in the world, I would imagine that ass kissing hits a little different. It's difficult for me as a completely hypocritical individual, cynical person, to believe that that has anything to do with actually just doing it, because there's no treasure down here. There's no Pokemon Go check-in point. Just looking at something on the side of the wall doesn't seem like it's enough for me. And because these assholes did it, I don't have to do it. So, I don't know. It made me question the entire mission statement of what they're trying to accomplish even more watching the video. Because it's cool, but it ain't that cool. It's not enough to make you risk your life, in my opinion. Denise is looking like we're doing some spamming, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of you. The only rule we have basically in the chat is don't spam shit up, right? Isn't that it? I think that's it. Delete comment. Corey, you can go ahead and delete those if you want. I don't know if that's a real person, but I don't have time for that. Where's Josh Sroka? Is he around? Josh, are you around, buddy? I'm not getting any audio off of that, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to share this next vid if there's no audio, because we got to hear my boy speak. Let me take a look. It's in a book. I got this, you guys be butt jealous. I mean, you didn't know I was rich like this, but I got this second screen system going over here so that I can load up all my links beforehand. Josh was teaching me about this. And I said, yes, sir, I would like to have something like that so I can prep on a different screen, and then people will know what a baller I am. They'll know how fucking, in the weeds I am, Scrooge McDuck-like, with wealth and wealth management. The only issue is that I don't think that the audio is coming through. At least it didn't on that one. Let's take a look. It's in a book.
Today, Dundalk TV is with Bruce Ebert and...
Okay. Can you guys hear that? Let me know if you can hear that, because I'm not getting it in my headphones.
We are at the Kelso Drive Courthouse, and Bruce, you just had a hearing. So
Is that coming through on your end? I don't think that it is. Soroka, if you're in the chat, I just need to know how to get that to come through on the Pooter, because I think it's just coming through on my... Yeah, it's coming through on my laptop speakers is why it's faint. We might have to try to... We might have to try to figure that out for next time. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why that's working. But I do have a second screen experience, so if you guys would like to, send me compliments because I've reached a certain point in my life. Yes, that's what I said, Jorge. I know you're excited. If there's one thing that Jorge likes more than anybody, it is technical difficulties. He looks like he may have a bear skin. Well, we covered this gentleman. And he's a trip. I would love to get, this is Bruce Ebert and Doxed. I would love to get a picture with him. And basically what happens is Dundalk TV covers this man as he's getting thrown out of Chipotle's, thrown out of libraries. He's a legend up in the Dundalk area. And this was the original story that we covered on this show. And then there's an update. He won some case and then tried to go back in the library, and they threw him out again, and it's absolutely fantastic. He's such a goddamn local folk hero, and I want to give you guys an update. But yes, I noticed the same thing when I was first starting to pay attention to him. It looks like he may or may not have a bear skin.
I have my bear skin.
Oh, boy. Fair enough. All right, I'm going to text Josh, and I'm going to get that cleaned up, and then we'll cover him later on this week. Thank you guys for showing up here today. I want to remind you that Friday night on Solid Dudes, not only are we giving away a beautiful fish hat, not only are we giving away a tacky Outer Banks ashtray, but we're giving away a signed hammer from Edenton, North Carolina. It's going to be fantastic. All the boys are back. We're going to have a Is She Gone? And we're going to get to the top five reasons why I think fried chicken is overrated. I might lose some listeners. I'm resigned to that fate. Some of you are not going to feel the same way about me as you did before you arrived. But that's just the chance that I have to take. I've got to speak my truth. I want to thank our fun boy, largemouth ass. He's the funnest of the fun boys. That's what I would say. And thank you to everybody that tuned in. Hit that like button on your way out, and I will see you on Saturday evening at 7 p.m. for another beautiful edition of Solid Dudes.
DJ Grimy, and you know it's fuego, dog.